I know this seems really weird, but it's the only time that I have. So while I'm folding my daughter's laundry, before I head to the studio, I just want to give you guys an update on Scott Quiner because you deserve it. You guys are the only reason why all of this is happening. Do you understand that you are responsible for most likely saving a man's life? As a matter of fact, you already are responsible for saving a man's life because just an hour and a half before Scott Quiner's scheduled execution yesterday, we got it stopped. And I'm just going to be honest here because honesty is what we do. And I'm not bashing anybody, but I just got to say it how it is. Marjorie Holston, who is the attorney that represents Annie Quiner and Scott Quiner, she filed that restraining order. But I'm telling you, all due respect to Marjorie, she's a real estate attorney. She's not been involved with this stuff before. You know, and that's to no fault of her own. She's a great woman and a fighter and a friend of Annie Quiner's, and she wanted to help. So she filed that restraining order. Mercy Hospital, in response, went and got Frederickson and Byron, the most powerful law firm in Minneapolis. And why did they do that? Because they were going to steamroll right over Annie Quiner. They were going to steamroll right over Marjorie Holston. They were going to use the power of that law firm. They were going to bully their way through this thing, and they were going to execute him. They were going to execute him yesterday. Scott Quiner would be dead right now if it wasn't for you guys. What stopped this was the public attention, the barrage of phone calls, the Google reviews, the emails, and the demand for accountability. And that's what an action platform is all about. That's why this family right here is greater than any other show. I love this little fuzzy thing. Is greater than any other show out there. Seriously, on the face of the planet, there is not another show that has a family, an audience like this one. And that's because we are a family. You guys need to take a moment to celebrate this. All of us right here, give each other a hug right now, man, because we saved a life yesterday. And so anyway, I want to update you on this. Scott is to be transferred. And Mercy Hospital is dragging their feet, all right? There is a doctor in Texas who has absolutely 100% agreed to take Scott Quiner in their care. And then they can administer the nutrition that he needs to heal his lungs, that he has been denied, the food and essential liquids and injectable vitamin C and D, the very bare essentials that have been denied of him in that torture chamber, in that progressive communist death camp. He's going to get that, plus he's going to get other life-saving drugs. And you know why they're dragging their feet, guys? They're dragging their feet because they know. They know that Scott Quiner is going to recover. They know that when he's in the care of a real doctor that actually honors their oath and administers life-saving treatment to Scott Quiner for coronavirus, which, by the way, nobody dies from COVID-19. Okay? They die from comorbidities and they die from murder in hospitals. They die from the mistreatment and the malnourishment and the poisonous drugs and the ventilators. That's why people die of COVID-19. People aren't dying at home from COVID-19. People are dying in the hospitals from COVID-19. And so they're dragging their feet because they know. What happens, guys? What happens if Scott is airlifted down to Houston, Texas, and he lives? What happens when he gets the ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine that he needs, if that's what they prescribe? I'm not a doctor. I don't know what they're going to prescribe. But I have an idea. What happens when he gets his azithromycin and his zinc and his D3 and his C and his ivermectin and his hydroxychloroquine and his phenterphenyrate and all these other things? What happens then? Well, guess what? Mercy's in a whole lot of trouble, and so is the entire narrative. The whole narrative. It is going to be the biggest story on the globe. This is going to sweep the entire planet. And they know that. And that's why they're dragging their feet. They want him dead. They want this guy dead. They want to Epstein Scott Quiner so that he can't talk. so that he won't be available for a sit-down interview with me or whoever he wants to grant it to when he survives, when he fully recovers from the abuse and the assault and the attempted murder at the hands of these psychopath doctors and liars at Mercy Hospital, who, if you haven't reviewed them on Google yet, scroll up. There's a link. Maybe you could take a moment to, just takes a couple seconds to let the world know and let Mercy Hospital know how you feel and potentially save other people by reviewing them properly. So we need to put the pressure on Mercy Hospital right now. Why are you not transferring him right now? Why is there not a helicopter on your helipad at that hospital right now? And why is Scott Quiner not on it with qualified medical personnel and on his way to a doctor that has agreed to accept him with a bed available and ready to treat him, since you don't want to, since you want to send him to his death? It's shameful. It's despicable. This is a textbook right to try case, by the way. And if there was somebody at Mercy Hospital with a heart, with balls, with the bravery, and with the common decency to live up to their oath and treat these patients. Because you know what the real story is here? All these millions of lives lost? Yeah. The whole thing's going to blow up. The whole thing. The whole globe. All of the media knows about this story now. And they're all watching it very, very closely. Believe you me. And they are shaking in their boots. All of them. And so I'm telling you guys, you have yourselves to take a moment and pat on the back and give each other hugs and congratulate each other because you saved a life yesterday. Scott Quiner would be dead. Annie Quiner would be planning a funeral today had it not been for your intervention, your accountability, you letting Mercy Hospital and the media know that we were watching, the whole world was watching. And that we were not going to allow them to murder Scott Quiner without the whole world knowing about it. That's on you. But now it's time, after you take a moment to celebrate, it's time to get back to work. We can't let up. We can see the finish line right now. We need to demand that Mercy Hospital releases him, transports him with the appropriate level of care, because believe me, these are the people that wanted him dead. And every minute that he's in their care is another minute that he's closer to death. Get on the horn. Here it is, guys. We got to finish strong. We got to finish this up. We want to talk to Scott Quiner.